forgot. Hello, y'all. Abby's a little bit late because Abby had a long day. I'm going to set up the other platforms real quick, and then we're going to get Elle started. But I hope that everybody is well. Okay. I hope that y'all are well. I hope that y'all are in a good space because, y'all, it's been a crazy day. It has actively been a crazy day. Hold on. There we go. I think I'm live and all of the things now. Yes. Hello, TikTok. Hello, Instagram. I'm sorry, I can barely see. Hello, YouTube. I hope that y'all are well. Hello, everybody. Hey, how are y'all? This is not going to be an long weekly healing circle because I know it's really late and I don't want to push the time. However, I had a really long day. Okay, that was weird. My iPad just said something weird. So yeah, we're gonna keep it short. However, we will go over, everything that needs to be talked about today will be talked about. Before we get started, we are going to do, because the moon is in Pisces, y'all. We are going to do the same water exercise that we did the last time. We're going to do the same water exercise that we did the last time in the last live. I thought it would be a good idea to start this live with the water exercise. So go run to your kitchen and pour yourself a cup of water. You don't have to put a lot if you don't want to. If you want to, you can. You can drink it slow. But go ahead and put some water, in a cup. And we're going to do the water exercise again. This is just to set y'all up for success for the week. And so you can actually, fill out what your water energy is for this week as well. So I'll give everybody like a second to get their cups together. I'm sorry if it keeps freezing, y'all. I'm sorry if it keeps freezing. But yes, we're going to do a water exercise. Okay, so go ahead and go get a cup of water. Get you a cup of water. Go run to the kitchen. Get a cup of water so we can do the exercise together. And then we'll be talking about the energies for the week and, pulling some cards and stuff like that. Now, again, I'm going to try to keep this live kind of short because your girl had a long day and it's already pretty late. And I know that babe is going to come sometime soon because she got out of work at 8:30. So I don't want to, make her not, sleep late and stuff. And you guys know I can talk a lot. Y'all, my moon is in Gemini. I can talk for... my squad from my YouTube community, y'all know I can talk a lot. Basically. My emotional energy is out of whack. Doesn't matter. Well, I will say one thing. One, Mercury is still in its post-shadow phase. And I know that a lot of people were throwing a whole party when, went direct. But there's still a lot going on when it comes to, well, first of all, we're still in Cancer season. Cancer season is the test of being able to emotionally ebb and flow. If you are going through Cancer season and you're, feeling emotional and going through different kind of turbulent energy, you're actually working with the energy of the time. That's what the energy calls for. It calls for being a little bit more emotional. It calls for being more aware. It calls for being more, centered in your emotions. So there is an ebbing and flowing that comes with that. And this is why I want to start off this weekly healing circle with a glass of water. Also, I would like to remind everybody that we meet here every Monday, okay? Mondays are weekly healing circle days. This is when I do my lives. This is why you guys can basically catch me on Mondays. YouTube catches me twice a week because I also do a weekly community oracle poll over there. But I like to start off the week just pulling some messages and also making sure that we're kind of revisiting where we're at, energetically speaking. So that way, you know, we can set ourselves up for success and look at what the energies of the week is going to look like. Now, we're going to start the water exercise. Okay. Same as last time. So you're going to hold the water in your hands. Please make sure that the palms are touching the glass or whatever it is that you're touching. If you haven't gotten your glass of water, you have like 30 seconds before I start the exercise. Run to the kitchen, get a glass of water, come back. So you're going to be holding it with your palms, okay? Palms touching the glass. Don't be like this, okay? Where you know, there's space in between here, okay? Don't hold it like this. Put your hands, both hands, palms touching the glass, palm touching the glass, okay? So you're going to hold the water. It's going to be parallel to your chest, okay? You're going to hold the water. You're going to be looking down towards the water, okay? You're going to close your eyes, okay? You're going to take a couple of breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. I want you to just focus on tapping into the energy of the water itself as it is parallel to your chest, to your heart, okay? And you're breathing in, you're breathing out. Now, I want you to envision within your mind or your third eye, okay? You're going to envision of what you want for yourself for this week. Envision yourself being productive or succeeding a goal or getting through something or processing something. Envision yourself in a different mindset out of the situation that you're in right now. Envision yourself in the solution. How does you in the solution look like? How does that environment look like? I want you to hold that vision in your head of what that solution looks like in your mind, okay? You're breathing in, holding that vision. You're breathing out. Now I want you to start visualizing that vision pouring out from your third eye into the water. Okay, you're holding the water in your palms, in between your palms. You're envisioning the solution to your problem, what it looks like at the end of that resolution. And you're pouring that vision into the water. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths in. Then I want you to drink that water. And I want you to note how it tastes like. I want you to know any type of shift that you feel within the water. I want you to note the thickness of the water. Is it smooth? Does it feel a little bit thicker? Does it feel like there's something different about it? Does it taste a little salty? Does it taste a little sweet? Does it taste a little bit, out of the ordinary for how you know your water usually tastes like, okay? Those things will tell you a lot about, oh, my baby said I love you. I love you too. Those things will tell you a lot about what you needed from that water. If it was a little salty, you needed hydration. So you actually needed to hydrate yourself and nourish yourself, nourish your resolutions, nourish your vision, nourish the goals that you're trying to get to, what you're trying to overcome, okay? So that water was meant for you to nourish that. Now, if it was a little bit sweet, you are in the process. You are actually doing what you should be doing. You should continue that process. It might look like baby steps. It might, take a little bit of time, but you should continue to work towards that, and you should continue to hydrate and nurture yourself in that process. If it was a little thick, okay, it is forming. Do not forget that we are majority water. We're water beings. We're majority, we're liquid guys, okay? And so we are still, it is going to be forming into our body. We're going to be able to take that water, the thickness of it, and it's already forming into our body, into our cells. It is hydrating us. It is fueling us, okay, so that we can move forward. If it was very smooth, very like, almost like it felt like crystal clear kind of water, it is exactly what you needed to experience. You definitely needed as well hydration, but it's going to take a little bit more time. It's going to be a little bit more of like that ebb and flow. Think of the ocean. It flows. Sometimes the waves are very, very hard and they feel very heavy, and sometimes it's just very, very low and it moves back and forth, very calm. There's like barely any waves, okay? So there is a lot to look at when you look at how the water amplifies your intention and your vision for yourself. So keep that in mind, and please, like I said last week, throughout Cancer season, do this exercise whenever you feel like you need to add or give some extra nourishment to your body, or to even check in with yourself and, you know, how your body is doing and what you need from how you are hydrating yourself. So let me reload the chart because y'all, it closed on me. So give me a second. But I hope that y'all have been having a really good week. Cancer season is not like, it's sitting in my 12th house, so I do a lot of reflection during this time. But it's definitely has been a good experience. I feel like I'm getting through a lot of things. But you guys know my favorite season is Leo season because it's a vibe. Leo season, it's just like a good time. It's just fun times. But there's still a lot that we need to process and get through during this time. It's not necessarily one of the easiest, things to do when you're processing your emotions, trying to process how you're feeling about your spirit, your life, any type of issues that are coming up with you. So yeah, it's not always like an easy season. Like Cancer seasons are not necessarily easy, but they're very powerful. They're emotionally empowering. And that's exactly how we should address Cancer season, because you can easily say, especially when it comes to the water seasons, because the water seasons push us to be more active when it comes to our emotional energy. So when Pisces season comes through, we feel a little bit cloudy. We feel very like in our heads. Well, Pisces rule reflection. So yes, you're going to feel that way. When it comes to like Scorpio season, it's almost like we're processing so much. There's a lot's happening. We're getting pushed into corners. We're getting pushed to transform. And then you have like Cancer seasons that really is there to try to make you aware of your emotional energy, because that's kind of the thing. We go through the whole entire astrological year, and if you look at how the signs flow and they kind of go through the process of each other, there are breaks in between. So there's a time for air energy. So we were just in Gemini season. We're not going to have another air energy type of season until Libra in a couple of months, when we have to kind of come back, check on our minds, check where we're at, check if we're balanced, check if there's anything that we need to fix. So we have like different kind of seasons bring different kind of periods that then we need to address as a collective. And it's really, really important to understand the purpose of Cancer season, because Cancer season is a really, really great time to tap into your emotional energy, to tap into your own sensitivity, to tap into where you think you are having low points and empower yourself through that, really push yourself through that. Because Cancer season is a cardinal season, cardinal meaning action-based, action-oriented, meaning that your emotions make you want to act on how you are feeling. The second you feel something, it's like, hey, I need to do something about that. Versus Pisces season, where you're just like, I feel something, I must think on it, I must ponder. Versus Scorpio season, where it's like, oh my God, I feel something and now I need to let this go. What? They're different. They awaken different energies for us collectively to kind of push through and get through. And it's so, so, so important to understand and process our emotional energy so we can be good to go. I always say this every single year because I think it's so important. The things that you do not work on through Cancer season is going to have an impact on Leo season. Leo season, which is supposed to be like pretty much a celebration for your ego, y'all. A celebration for your ego. Because Leos rule the ego. They rule our inner child. They rule our playfulness. That's why they're always all about having fun and enjoying yourselves. You look at the 5th house. It's all about enjoying yourself, having a good life, shining, looking good, feeling good. It's a vibe. You want to be out here. You want to be dressed. You want to be like, you know, you want to feel good. That's what Leo season brings out. But the thing about Leo season is that how are you going to feel good if you didn't process your emotions, empower yourself so you can then feel good? It doesn't make any sense that way. Like, you have to make sure that you're emotionally okay with yourself. You have to make sure that you're emotionally in the same like place in your space with yourself, so you can be like, you know what, I'm in a good place. I processed that. I told that person what I needed, that what I meant to say, what my emotions were. I spoke up for myself. I stood up for myself. I said what I needed to be said, and you know, I'm proud of that. And then you go into Leo season, you move from one energy to the other, feeling empowered, feeling centered, feeling grounded, and feeling like you can let yourself shine. When you bury your emotion during Cancer season, Leo season ends up being a lot harder, because what happens when your ego is wounded, when there's unresolved issues to your ego? What happens? Okay, what happens? It's really a lot harder for you to enjoy yourself when you feel like you're still wounded in that way, when you feel like you can't really walk confidently when this is still haunting you because you didn't process your emotional energy. So it is really, really important to look at what the energy is right now. So let's look at what the planets are right now. So Sun is in Cancer, Moon is in Pisces, Mercury is in Gemini, Venus and Mars are in Leo. Jupiter is in Pisces, Saturn is in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune is in Pisces, Pluto is in Capricorn. Okay, so not only is that Leo energy of like, hey, I want to have a good time, y'all. Venus and Leo it's such a fun time. It's just such a fun time because Venus wants to have fun. Like, Venus is all about pleasure, enjoying yourself, having a good time, taking it slow, eating some bomb ass food, okay, enjoying time with the people. And Venus and Leo is really about allowing your ego to shine, whatever it is that you want to do, and whatever it is that you feel like brings you so much joy, so much pleasure. Like, oh my God, I'm just having such a great time doing whatever it is. It could be painting, it could be traveling, it could be like, you know, talking, it could be like whatever it is, however it is that you preferably like to shine. And having like that Mars and Leo and that Venus and Leo, Mars being the planet of passion, okay, being passionate about having a good time, being passionate about what you love, whether it's video games, whether it's like, you know, traveling, whether it's building something, or you just love cooking, you're just like, yeah, I'm just enjoying these flavors. Like, whether you're having like a ratatouille moment, you know, it's really, really, really important to dive into the things that you love to do. But do not forget that the Cancer energies are going to be there to test you, okay? You will be tested, okay? Cancer season is it's a test of action, emotional reaction to how other people are testing you, okay? And it really comes down to that. How are other people testing you, and how are you reacting? Mercury and Gemini will have it so the reactions come really fast, because Gemini is the fastest moving sign. And we can argue that it's Libra, but I will argue that it's Gemini, because Gemini just moves the fastest. Mercury energy moves the fastest. Granted, technically the moon moves the fastest when you were talking about planetary speaking, because the sign changes every 2.5 days. That's besides the point. As far as sign energy, communication, air is the fastest moving element. It is the fastest moving thing. And because words, like what we're doing now, communication moves like this, okay? And so Mercury and Gemini has those downloads, those messages, that awareness where you're processing your emotional energy and it's coming into consciousness, and you're able to break it down and say, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I need to address. This is how I need to address it. This is how I can deliver the message in a way that it can be communicated so you can understand it. That's the thing about Gemini energy that I need y'all to understand. Gemini and Mercury energy is all about delivering the message, okay? Delivering the message. They are the messengers. They're the ones who get the download, and they deliver the download the way that it needs to be said, okay? It's not about, kind of like watering things down, or you have to read between the lines. It's about being bold and saying, hey, this is what it is. This is what it was. You combine that with that Cancer energy, and what you get is emotional. You're just emotionally very, very clear on what it is that you're feeling, how it is that you want to have action surrounding that. And so it's like being aware. So let's say you're having a conversation with someone. There is more awareness of what is happening within there, that you can actually communicate how you actually feel and be very, very clear about it. And this is a really, really great time to have a lot of those communications, to process a lot of those feelings that have been kind of like brewing for a minute. Because I feel like, especially if you look at what happened last year, 2020 was definitely a year of pause. It definitely, I always thought it was really, really funny that it started during Aries season, because Aries is the, it's the beginning of the zodiac. It's the beginning, astrologically speaking, is the new year, astrologically speaking, right? And so when you have Aries season, Corona said literally right when Aries season was starting, it was like, no, shut it down. Shut everything down. Everything is shut down, right? Aries season. On Aries season. Aries being the sign of action. Aries being the sign of initiating, going, moving on in the journey. I felt so bad for Aries last year, because I was like, I know they mad. I know they mad they can't run anywhere. I know they're mad that they're going to have to literally use their energy, but like slowing it down by like 75%. Like, it was such a turbulent time for their energy to actually move. But what you saw last year, how everything kind of started to like break down slowly but surely, is that there was a process and different stages of how, Corona impacted us as a society. And last year, it was a generational year. That's just the truth of the matter. And that's what happens when you have Jupiter and Capricorn for a whole entire year. It was a very generational year. It was a very karmic year. It was a year of consequences. You have the consequences of the government not doing what they were supposed to be doing. You have the consequences of other people's governments not communicating and letting people know that something is a threat ahead of time. We have the consequences of people in power that hold power, that were not acting on the betterment of the people, to protect people in a health issue. It was just a lot of like downplaying it. It was a lot of incompetence. It was a lot of things going on. And it was a very karmic year. You saw the karma happening very quickly. Somebody said, oh, it's not that big a deal. And literally 2 weeks later, you started seeing the cases go from this to that. Like, it was a very karmic year. Jupiter and Capricorn. Capricorn is a very karmic sign because it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the planet of karma and time. And so there was a lot of things that started to break down. It was like, okay, how are we taking care of ourselves? What are we going to do about it? How are we moving as a society? And there's a comparisons between our country and other countries and how they're handling, their process. So when you look at it, you see where we're at. You reflect on where we were at last year, and you look at this year when everything is kind of like, hey, yeah, we're opening up, we're doing all these things, everybody's getting vaccinated, everybody getting their stuff done. Now it's just a time of like, okay, so I had to take a break. I didn't choose to take a break, but I had to take a break last year. A lot of people, when you look at it, there were people, there was a lot of people that were like, they were in school, they were in this and that, they were, in a whole entire different path. And then last year put them in a position that businesses were started, that projects were started, that different, like literally people like ended up dropping out of school or even going back to school just because it gave them the time to do something that they couldn't do if the pandemic hadn't happened, which is crazy to think about, that even though we had so many deaths in this country, which again, incompetence to the government, there was still so much of how generationally we were affected on a personal level. Each one of us were affected on a personal level, and our evolution was triggered last year on a personal level. It was a very karmic level. It was really a question of, okay, how are you going to spend this time? Y'all wanted more time. Y'all say you don't take time off. Y'all say that you don't, you never take a vacation. You never get to do X, Y, Z, and B. And now, boom, here's all the time in the world. What are you going to do with it? A lot of people let themselves get really bored. A lot of people started some projects. Some people started, doing things a little bit differently, or even it was a really amazing watching people start businesses. I thought that was the really, really cool part. A lot of people took their savings, threw it into businesses, and now it's like, I could never see myself doing anything different. Like, it's so beautiful how, you know, it took something so really collectively harsh to put people in their, in a place where they're thriving now, where they're able to sustain themselves. It's crazy to think how, as a generation, we were collectively triggered. I mean, granted, if you look at the generational planets from millennials, there's a lot of Capricorn energy there. And so Capricorn energy was really driving our evolution on, you know, how things are going to, like, what our generation is going to be doing. And it's just, it was such a beautiful kind of thing to see how good came out of the situation, even there was so much harm that came out of the situation as well. It was really, really interesting to see how people took such a hard time and turned it around for themselves. It was a very empowering thing as well, overcoming it. You know, like how people be like, oh, survival of the fittest kind of thing. Like, the way people say that and push that as like, no, you have to try. There were people that really got pushed into a corner to survive. It was in survival mode. It was a protection mode. It was, you know, keep yourself safe. It was a sanitary mode. One of my favorite things that happened was that people were being more mindful about their sanitary practices, because we all know there are a lot of people out here that do not care about their sanitary practices. Even I was working at a supermarket. I was half my time, the majority of the pandemic, and y'all, I still saw people go into the bathroom and not wash their hands, and it was the whole entire pandemic. And I'm just like, can you do the bare minimum? It's not even the bare minimum. It should be the minimum. It should be the standard. Just wash your hands, okay? Just wash your hands. But no, you still saw that shit. But I still like that there was more awareness about cleanliness. And, you know, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of the collective, how you cleaning yourself, you making sure that you're good can help protect somebody else. And that's so, so, so important. And there's so many levels of how we have evolved from last year into this year. This year, which is very Aquarian. Okay, very Aquarian. We have a very Aquarian year. Saturn is now in its second sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about revolution. And this is what I've been saying for a really long time, y'all. In December of last year, we talked about this because both Jupiter and Saturn went into Aquarius. And the important thing to know about this is that Aquarius is the sign of revolution. It's the energy of revolution. It's the energy of upgrades. It's the energy of the collective. It's society, technology. It is a more futuristic, action towards the future. It has a very futuristic mindset. This is why Aquariuses tend to be very eclectic, and very kind of have a different kind of mindset. They're modern, though sometimes they do, get stuck in different time periods. There are those, Aquariuses. However, the energy of Aquarius is all about how the collective revolutionizes society, because that's what Aquarius rules. It rules society, it rules friendships, it rules communities, it rules how we come together, right? How we come together. So we're still under this energy. Saturn is still giving, Saturn, the planet of karma, the planet of time, okay, foundation, tradition, okay, says in order for you to understand, in order for you to, we're collectively getting the karma. We're collectively experiencing time. In order for us to actually see some resolution to certain things, we have to work together. We have to collaborate. Okay, Saturn says, use your time collectively. Saturn, the planet of time, Aquarius ruling the collective. Use your time collectively. Put those two together. And that's really where the energy is going to be for the next 2 to 3 years, because Saturn stays in a sign for about 2.5 to 3 years. And so you're going to see the energy of revolution really, really present, while the energy of government was really present the last 3 years, because Saturn was in Capricorn for the last 3 years. Now is in Aquarius. So it's all about the collective. How are we coming together? How are we making moves? How are we fighting for the things that we believe in? How are we helping each other? How are we standing up to help the community? How are we building the community? How are we really setting the foundation for the community? How are we advocating? How are we starting these revolutions that need to be started? How are we literally doing the work? It's collective. It's a collective work. Now, because Saturn is in retrograde, okay, it really highlights looking backwards. This goes into analyzing what has been done in the past, okay? And this is why I'm not surprised of everything that's going on with the schools, the residential schools. I'm not surprised about that. The energy of the planets are there for it to be like, analyze what happened in time. Retrograde say look backwards. The hint is to look backwards. The hint is to look back in time, revisit laws, revisit experiences, revisit how time has been spent on this earth. That's what you need to understand with Saturn's energy. I say this as a Capricorn because I understand Saturn's energy very, very well. It's one of my gifts as a Capricorn to understand Saturn's energy very well. When Saturn is in retrograde, because Saturn is a planet of karma and time, Saturn as a planet is all about restriction. It's all about where things have been trapped in time. That includes trauma, that includes emotional pain, that includes things that have yet to be processed and really kind of dissected in a collective way or in a personal way. So when Saturn, the planet of time, is in retrograde in Aquarius, it says, hey, the collective must now discover truths that were hidden. It must now be aware of things so they can revolutionize, okay, towards change because of what happened in the past. This is also why I will say that the movement towards discovering the graves of the children, that's going to have a huge impact within the next upcoming months on the Native movement. And I think this is going to be one of the foundations where a lot of people are going to be more aware of the Native community, because that's one of the things a lot of people are not within the United States. And that's such a huge problem, because when you don't know what's going on with the Native community, you think that the only problems in the United States are, you know, the really toxic Republican views and like the really problematic, you know, capitalist kind of mindset. But we forget about the people. We forget about how we're all affecting and impacting each other with all of these policies, all of these different type of things. And so we're going to see revolutions happening, okay? We're going to see the revolutions happening, just stirring it up. And you're going to see how time is going to unlock all of those doors. It's going to open up all of those doors, and we're going to be able to see deeper so we can then heal. Retrogrades are about reflection and healing, y'all, okay? Retrograde are about looking backwards so we can understand what happened. With Saturn is about understanding what happened through time, okay? Time that has happened already, time that has passed, understanding how time was spent, why it was spent the way it was spent, and what the wrong parts of that were. So it's really, really important to understand what we're all collectively going through right now. Also, why understanding how Cancer season is stirring up and bringing a lot of those things to the light, because that really comes down to that. A lot of the things come up to the light, and then we're emotionally triggered to create action towards changing a lot of these things. It's an emotional movement. It's all about even like if you look at Leo, you have this prideful, being proud energy. How can you be proud of things that were done wrong, of even like your own personal actions, things that you said to someone, or how you acted, or how you behaved that were out of your character, that you yourself felt like you were wrong, or that someone else did that to you? How can you be proud of that and walk with confidence into Leo season when you haven't processed that emotionally, when you haven't healed yourself, when you haven't let go, when you haven't forgiven? Okay, because y'all, forgiveness is like absolutely necessary. But when you haven't forgiven, when you haven't, you know, when you have restricted yourself to your own personal evolution, because it really comes down to that. It comes down to your evolution. It comes down to your ascension. It comes down for you to be more comfortable with who you are. It's really all about that. If you feel out of place, if you feel very conflicted, if you feel like you are in a place where you're just like, I'm like irritating myself. I don't know why I feel this way. I haven't like this is bothering me. When that person said that to me, I'm still like, it's because you need to sit down with yourself and process it. And I say this all the time. You can 1000% go to therapy, and that's super important. And you can also hold yourself accountable and hold therapy sessions by your damn self, okay? Because all of you guys are really, really capable of sitting down with yourself and questioning yourself. And this is why I tell everybody, I talk to myself all the time. This is one of my favorite practices with myself. I question myself all the time. If I know that something is bothering me, I check in on my spirit. I check on my emotions, my mind. I'm like, why is it still, I was thinking about this person, or I was thinking about that moment. That moment, it bothered me. Why did it bother me? Where does that come from? Who does it stem from? I'll just start questioning myself. So that way I get to the bottom of the issue. If you don't sit down with yourself and question yourself, question your mind, question your behavior, what will happen? You will have people that will be sent into your life to trigger you into analyzing those exact things that you need to analyze. If you don't do the work, you best believe you will be sent the people that will trigger you into doing the work. That's kind of like how it works, which is really, really, really interesting, y'all. But this week is going to go from very emotional beginning towards the week towards a little bit more of a focus on energy and pleasure and kind of like going through the flow, because the moon will be moving into Aries and then it will be going into Taurus. So there is this kind of like extra energy, extra oomph. This is actually a really, really good time it's a really good week to make sure that you're a little bit more active, whether it's like going on a run or just like even walking, take a walk somewhere, go swimming, go to the ocean, go swim. Cancer seasons are always a really good season to connect to all bodies of water. Granted, you should always connect to all bodies of water, but especially during the water seasons, it helps not only to cleanse your spirit, but to recalibrate your energies with the forces of nature. The forces of nature are just absolutely powerful. They have such a powerful presence within our lives, and it is just the most natural way to cleanse yourself, whether it be by the river, by a lake, on the ocean, in the rain. You can literally stand in the rain, get yourself a cleanse. It's really, really powerful to connect to the way that water is, that the way where the water lies, because those areas are powerful forces of nature, and they have those nature spirits actively help us progress and cleanse and release and recalibrate our emotional energies, which is really, really, really important. So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards, because you guys know I talk a lot and we already been here for 37 minutes. So let's see what's coming up for this week. I'm going to be using the Mermaid because, the moon is in Pisces, and, the sun is in Cancer. So I was like, let us just use the Mermaid Tarot. Okay, so what's going on collectively for this week? What should we expect collectively for this week? What is going on collectively for this week? Okay, I'm going to pull one more card. One more card. Oh, wow. One more card. What is going on collectively for this week? Okay, so bottom of the y'all. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Empress, the Knight of Cups. It's the bottom of the deck energy. Bottom of the deck energy to me is always like the underlining energies. That's the way I personally like to read them. So I like to look at what's going on underneath the thing. I'm not surprised that the Empress is coming up in here as the bottom of the deck energy with the Knight of Cups, because what did I say? Venus is in Leo. That means, and the Empress is the card of Venus in tarot. And so there is this kind of focus on pleasure. I want y'all to understand that. There's a focus on pleasure, and you definitely should pay attention to your sensual energies, the word that I'm going to use so I don't get demonetized. You should pay attention to your sensual energy during this time. You should definitely make sure that your batteries are recharged, that you're good, ebbing and flowing naturally during this time, because it just helps to keep you emotionally grounded as well. Now, the cards for this week, we have the Hangman in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles. Hangman in reverse, Ace of Pentacles. You have the King of Swords. That's that Mercury and Pisces. That's that Mercury and Gemini energy that I was talking about. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. Now, Abby, what is going on? So, first and foremost, we have the Hangman in reverse. Why is the Hangman in reverse? Well, because we're in a cardinal season. Cardinal seasons are for action. They're not, you know, for sitting around and kind of like contemplating too much. Even when we're in Capricorn season, like there's a period of Capricorn season where you have to kind of like sit with your shit and like process your shit. Like you have to kind of sit and plan and like, you know, but then there's the action side. Like you actually have to act on what it is that you're trying to act on. So like Capricorn season is a great time for planning, organizing, setting yourself up for success to doing the thing that you want to do. But once you decide on what you want to do, it's all about movement. And so having the Hangman in reverse says that there is more of an action focus right now. Like we have already meditated, sat down with how we were feeling, sat down with what it is that we wanted to, you know, do. And now is the time to emotionally and intuitively act on how we feel, act on how we already know where we're being guided. We already know what we need to do. We already know that we need the solution that we need. And it's all about, okay, well, I thought about this long and hard. Okay, Abby, I thought about this long and hard. I know you thought about it long and hard. Now is a really good time to act upon the thing. And a lot of it is going to be in the physical. I want you to know this is going to be in the physical. So the Ace of Pentacles is manifestation within the physical realm. It's all about physical realm manifestations. Ace of Pentacles is the pentacle that takes the longest to manifest because it's all about grounding. This is a seed that is ultimately being planted, and you must allow that seed to grow. Some seeds will grow really, really fast. Some seeds are trees, so they take, you know, years to fully thicken up and build. This is a really, really good time to set the foundation for the things that you want to, that you already meditate. You already meditated on it. You know, you sat down with it. You really contemplated. You said, you know what? I thought about it. I looked at all of the options. I analyzed the paths that I could take from this, and I have came to the conclusion that this is the only way that I can kind of see the solution for this. So this is a really, really good way time to think about what it is that is going on with your the view, that perception, that outcome. And again, this is why that water ritual is a really, really, really good one to do when you need to nourish yourself into acting on what it is that you want to do. And so right now, because we're coming up also with the King of Swords. The King of Swords let's talk about the Kings for a second. Kings are all about they're the end game card. Okay, they're the ones that have already gone through the entire air suit and every level of the, like from pages to knights to queens. They have reached kingship. They are a king already. They know how to work the air elements. They know how to use it to the best of their ability. They know how to use it in all of the different ways that it can be used. And so the King of Swords here really says that the mind, how the mind is being used, how things are going to be planted, how the seed gets planted in the first place is through the mind, is through communication, is through collaboration. That's kind of the other thing. There's collaborative energy in here. There's not working by yourself, but working as a team. And you see that with the Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. It's about putting the foundation with people that you trust. Don't forget about what I said earlier. Saturn is in Aquarius. Saturn says spend your time. And it, when you add, astrology is math, y'all. Let me tell you, astrology is mathematics. You take one planet energy, you add the sign's energy, and it equals something. Because this Aquarius rules society, the collective, okay, the collective energies, it's going to tell you how to use Saturn's energy during this time, because that's where Saturn is. Saturn is sitting in the sign of the collective, of society, of technology, of social media, of how we interact together. And so, how are we using those tools to get our message across, to plant the seeds that we want to see come into fruition? What moves are we making? How are we collaborating? How are we bringing things together? How are we networking? Also Aquarius energy. How are we using what we already know? Okay, because that Four of Pentacles It's what you're already comfortable with. You're very, very comfortable. You're very, very centered and grounded in that thing. You know what it is. You already know. Nothing's going to change your mind about what needs to happen. You know what it is. You're sitting on it. This is Four of Pentacles is Taurus energy, y'all. Taurus is the most stubborn sign, astrologically speaking. I say that with all the love. It is the most stubborn sign, astrologically speaking. And so they know what this energy looks like. Because the Four of Pentacles, it's all about sitting down exactly in the chair that you picked because you knew it was going to be comfortable and you're not going to move. You're not going to give anybody your chair because you are going to hold on to that thing. And so it's really about understanding that who you choose to collaborate during this time has to hold weight. You have to be very comfortable with them. You have to know that they hold the same views and the same purpose and drive that you do at the same time. And you also have to kind of work it slowly. You have to take your time. Seven of Pentacles says plant the seeds. Okay, the seed is right here. The seed is right here, y'all. This is the seed. The Ace of Pentacles is the seed. This is the seed. Plant the seed. Seven of Pentacles is all about really working the land, working the seeds. You planted it, you're seeing some, some stems, you're seeing some leaves, it still hasn't beared you fruit yet. You still haven't seen the fruits of your labor yet, but still keep working those seeds, keep watering it, keep doing what you need to do to make those seeds into reality, to bring that to fruition to the collective. It is such an important thing to do at this time. And so that's really where we're coming at towards the end of the week. We're going to see not only us being a little bit more action, having more action towards our goals, okay, but also us being very comfortable in the direction that we have chosen for ourselves. So again, reflecting and coming through and solidifying on that comfortability of what we know. We already processed it. We already know what we need to work on. We already know what the path is moving forward. And now it's just about putting in the work so we see the solution. So we actually get to do the things that we have set out for ourselves, okay? Now, let's pull some oracle cards. Ooh. Ooh. Let's pull some oracle cards. What's going on collectively for this week? What do we need to know for this week collectively? All right. I'm getting attacked, y'all. Ooh, okay. The first one, y'all, time of new birth. Okay, time of new birth. Why? Because there are a lot of things happening. I would not be surprised if this is literally the time where we look back from, next year and we're like, you know what? It was during Cancer season, during this month, that I decided to do and that just completely shifts in the rest of the year. Time for nourishing. Nurturing. Time for nourishing. Cancer season. Healing and balance. Healing and balance, y'all. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things happening right now. There's a lot of things shifting right now. It's kind of like catching the wave. If you don't catch the wave, you're going to get rocked by the wave, or you're going to get go down into get pulled by the current. You need to ride the wave. We all need to be surfers during this time. I'm just letting y'all know, because there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of building that's happening right now, and if you do not catch the wave, I'm telling you, not only will Leo season not be that pleasant, but you will also be fighting that, that energy of I have to heal myself. And that's why I was saying earlier, literally in the last weekly healing circle, we talked about how each cardinal season brings in the energy of something new. And that kind of the theme until you see the next cardinal sign. Cancer season's about emotional consciousness. Leo season's about the ego. Virgo season's about healing. So it's if you're not going to pay attention during Cancer season, you're going to end up having to redo that and come into that awareness during Virgo season. So it's you're going to still have to come back to it at some point, but it just makes it so Leo season is not as enjoyable. I'm just saying. Now, what do we need to know collectively for this week? What do we need to know? All right, I'm getting attacked, y'all. I'm getting excited. But all these cards. The first one is financial healing. Financial healing. Financial healing. And it says your money struggles are a thing of the past. Be open to all avenues of receiving and you'll be provided for in every way. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot happening collectively, how we not only build ourselves, not only how we get on the path that we're going to, but all of that comes in and addresses a lot of the issues that we have been trying to break down when it comes to our finances, when it comes to our collective awareness of it as well. Because the whole financial thing is really interesting, because when you look at finances, when you look at actually ancient times, we used to be trading like goats for like milk and stuff. Like it used to be like a whole different process of what money or like, you know, trading or what that kind of thing looks like. We have now made it so paper is this really, really, really valuable thing to us. And now it's kind of like, you know, money is something that sustains our living. But there's going to have to come a time where we're going to have to collectively accept that there are certain things that are more important than money. There are certain things that are more important and that are literally equal to money. I would rather be up in the mountains somewhere, growing my own food and just like living my damn life in peace, listening to the birds and the crickets. Okay, literally the dream. Listening to the birds and the crickets, and let, you know, the earth bear me fruits and vegetables and all of these things, and that be my financial stability, versus having 20 or even being Jeff Bezos, another fellow Capricorn, with, you know, a ton of money and like finances and stuff like that. And so it's something that it depends on you define your financial stability, your financial success. I don't define success by having $25,000 million or whatever. I define it by healing a lot of where I've had issues with that debt energy, where I've had issues with, you know, being in lack or feeling like something is lacking within life, which is attributing to this kind of energy. When you have financial like debt and you're kind of like dealing with money kind of issues, it really is a kind of like a wound without a face a lot of the time. Like you can't put a face to it. Because love and money are on the same vibration. When it comes to love, it's a lot easier for us to go through relationships, go through experiences, and if we're hurt by those relationships, to be like, yo, that person, they did all this shit to me, right? And just be mad and do all of these things. But when it comes to money doesn't have a face to it. Money just is there. Finances just exist. Things that are meaningful just exist, right? And so it's the experiences of how we experience our finances that then bring us pain, that bring us anxiety, that bring us different kind of, you know, emotions, that stir up a lot of different things. Even when you look at that video, that TikTok of the that person that was like, they really want us to pay rent on stolen land. Like, that was, first of all, 1000% accurate, but it really speaks to how, you know, this mindset of capitalism, the mindset of, you know, this debt, this constantly you have to have something that you need to be paying, and kind of like all of that kind of mindset, how it actually really hurts us on a personal level and as a collective, because we all understand that. We all collectively understand why that is like harmful, why that doesn't help anybody, why is something that we then are turning into a loop, instead of nature being the one to feed us and grow, and we go through the seasons and we understand when to grow certain things because they bear us fruit in certain times of the year. We actually get into the loop of bills. And so right now, it's really a time for financial healing, to remove some of that debt, some of that mindset that leads to more debt as well. And actually getting through the bottom of what it is that you want to make you happy, how you define your success. And at the end of the day, if that means that you have to be Jeff Bezos and have $25 million in your bank account. Is that really going to make you happy? I'm just saying. The next one is simplify your life. Simplify your life. Simplify it. And it says you've had so much going on that you're spread too thin. This has to change now so your vitality can recharge. And you're going to see that in the middle of the week with when the moon goes into Aries, because Aries is always a very like vital, like vitality focused energy, like in sign. It's very vitality focused sign. It moves through the fire or core. So you're going to see a little bit more of that kind of like push to action, especially when you have like the sun is in a cardinal sign and the moon is in a cardinal sign. There's more of an emotional ego movements that are happening as well. Then we have world energy. World energy, y'all. The earth is going through a transition of energy and your sensitive body is feeling it. You're not alone, accept the help of others. World energy, because I'm telling you, Saturn is doing a lot of things are happening karmically, y'all. A lot of things are not just like, it's not just one person. You're not alone. There's no, even if you think you're alone, trust and believe you are not alone with how you feel, how you're thinking, none of it. There's a lot of stuff going on and we're all catching this wave. I'm telling you, the next 3 years are for revolution and therefore working together. When you feel like you are alone, reach out. This is not one of those years or times when it's, you know, like you need to be always secluded and alone. It's about community. It's about coming together. It's about interacting. It's about opening up, because that's going to lead you into a more comfortable space, into feeling that safeness that we all need to feel, and then not feel so disconnected from each other, because that's kind of the other thing. There is a huge disconnect from the collective with each other, where even through technology, where like, you know, we can swipe up and down, but there's still this distance where we forget that we also can feel the presence of each other in a space and let that be as powerful of a force as it is, you know, swiping up and down on an app or something like that. Like, it's still important for us to spend time together, to collaborate, to come together and revolutionize whatever it is that we need to revolutionize. Let me tell you. Okay, so what do we need to know collectively for this week? What do we need? What do we need to know collectively? Okay. Oh, y'all. Okay, so the first one is protection and resurrection. It's giving me Scorpio energy. It's giving me Scorpio energies. Also, this is giving me Scorpio energies. Then we have life, death, and rebirth. So we got the vulture and we got the peacock. Okay? We got the vulture and the peacock energies. Y'all see that? These two birds are really powerful. So it's interesting that they're coming up in this way. So, life, death, and rebirth. Okay? We talked about earlier, Pluto is still in Capricorn. There's still a lot of things happening government-wise. There's still a lot of transformations that are happening. When it comes to the things that are just, they're hidden. There's still a lot of things coming up from the root, okay? Capricorn is associated to the ground, the earth itself. There's just like roots elements to it. There's like, like if you're looking at like your energetic body, it will be at the base. Your knees are what Capricorn is associated to. So there is this kind of things that we built in through Capricorn energy, and how we are processing and how we're transforming through the earth itself, through collectively itself, because Pluto is actively triggering the millennials. The millennial generation is being hella triggered. It's been hella triggered since Saturn went into Capricorn, since Jupiter was in Capricorn last year. There is this transformation that is happening to all of us, that is triggering all of us to play our role on a generational level. And we are all going to be, you know how literally, like, I don't know what the previous generation is called. Is it called, are they boomers? Is that what they're called? Whatever they are. They were, like, for such a long time, there would be articles upon articles talking about, oh, millennials are killing the home buying business. Millennials are killing, they don't want to work 9 to 5 anymore. They're retiring at 30. Like, millennials get blamed for everything. There's a reason for that, okay? Our generation, if you look at it astrologically, because we all carry the same generational energies, which all majorly fall in Capricorn, our generation is really breaking down a lot of the foundation, Capricorn energy, that has been built upon Capricorn energy for a really long time. Now, because Capricorn rules government, that includes the government. So Pluto being in Capricorn really speaks to a lot of this holding the government accountable and really breaking down a lot of what the government has done, where it has failed, how is this treating the people, what foundations that we literally live our lives. That includes businesses. That includes being held accountable. That includes actually advocating for the right things, standing up for the right things, backing the right things, putting your money in businesses that are actually the right type of businesses that you should be supporting. There is a lot of things being transformed. You're not going to notice it because it's Pluto. Okay, that's that Scorpio energy. It works in the darkness, in the shadows. Okay, you're going to hear bits and pieces coming out here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there. But trust and believe, this is something that is affecting us on a generational level. We're going to be going through the death process as a generation for a really long time. Pluto takes a long time to move from sign to sign. So it's going to take a while for us to fully transform. It's going to be a slow process, but trust and believe it's still happening. Trust and believe that we're all going through that transformation. We're all evolving. We are all going through that death process, and we're all going to come out of it stronger and more empowered. That is the key. Life, death, and rebirth. Rebirth means that you are more powerful. You are wiser. You have come back. And so during this time, you're going to have to 1000% make sure that you protect your energy, because the peacock attracts a lot of unwanted things here and there. So just make sure you protect your energy. Make sure you're aware. Make sure you're not, you don't forget about yourself, your protection work. Bottom of the deck, attend to your needs. Attend to your own needs, okay? Bottom of the deck, do not forget your protection work. If this is a time for the collective, we can't forget how we impact each other. I'm just saying. And with that was the weekly healing circle. Oh my God, y'all, thank you so much for coming. It was fun. We will definitely be doing this on Monday, because you guys know, again, this is like weekly healing circles every Monday. I'm sorry that I was a little bit late today. I had a really, 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 really long day. But yeah, I'm really excited for July, because I get back, my vacation is over, and I get back into readings. If you would like to book a reading with me, my website will be either in the link in the bio or in the description box. For any of the decks, I believe they're linked down below, I believe. But yeah, y'all, I have a video uploading for YouTube, because we're doing an Orisha story time, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, y'all, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. Bye, y'all. I will see y'all